At first glance, this looks like a wholesome story about a loving single dad, but don't be fooled. Because the man quietly chopping wood in a peaceful mountain village? He's not just some background character. He's a walking disaster hiding in plain sight, and the moment someone touches his daughter, everything changes. The tiny baby, so precious and sweet, her little arms flailing, letting out a joyful "Bah!" The sight of her, a perfect angel, brought a wave of emotion to Enoch's face. He knew who she was, and the situation that brought them here. Enoch Rubinstein, at 20 years old, saw the baby for the first time. An angel, that was his first thought upon seeing a baby who looked exactly like him. The baby giggled, letting out a loud "Wah!" Enoch's eyes widened, a mixture of disbelief and wonder crossing his face. Could it be? Does she recognize that I'm her father? He held the baby carefully, and a gentle "bah" further conveyed the warmth. It was an irresistible pull, a bond tied to blood, and perhaps, even affection. Enoch looked at the child, a tender gaze on his face. Why? Enoch couldn't understand himself for feeling this way. The memories of the past flashed before his eyes. Like most ability users in the Empire, this child had been conceived merely as an obligation to continue the family line, bred like a stud horse. He thought he would feel nothing. It was supposed to be nothing more than a small being that shared his blood. A child destined to grow up as an ability user, a noble, and eventually, a soldier. An imperial hound. But he couldn't let it happen, not for her. And oh, he resolved, his jaw tightening, I can't let her live as I do. He embraced her, holding the child close. A moment of peace and love. He glanced at the battlefield and thinks, no. I can't let you live a life in this wretched battlefield. He decided to leave with her, away from this hellhole. Are you thinking of running away? A voice asked. It was the woman, Selena, the child's biological mother. With the child no less? What are you even thinking? She continued, her expression unreadable. Enoch replied in a determined tone. I don't want to raise her into living a life like mine. Selena's expression softened. She's my child too, Enoch suggests. Then, let's go together. Selena laughed. I didn't realize you were such an impulsive person. She steps forward. We were born destined to die. She leans closer and says, as ability users and nobles of the Empire, this child is no exception. Enoch's expression was conflicted. She continues, still, I understand how you feel. Having a daughter does make you think differently. He looked down. I can't just give up like this. Selena went past by him and says, go. He flinches and turns to look at her. Then Enoch says, I plan to head to Xenon. I don't know if I'll stay there though. Selena simply says, all right. I wish you luck. On that day, the Empire's sole sword master, Enoch Rubinstein, disappeared. That was 7 years ago. 7 years later, a beautiful home, bathed in sunshine. A perfect start to the day. Good morning, my princess. Time to wake up. A man with dark hair, a loving smile on his face, leaned over the sleeping child. Ugh, the child replied. Just 5 more minutes, she said before the man again said, No, it's time to brush your teeth and have breakfast. Wearing an adorable cherry pattern apron and a spatula in hand, is James Brown, the ultimate domestic parent. Ugh, I'm not hungry, the little girl said. James replied. Well, Daddy made your favorite chicken egg dish extra delicious for you. The little girl sniffs the air. It's not just chicken and eggs. I smell broccoli as well. The man gasps. The little girl's eyes widened. Ack, I said I don't like broccoli. My princess Lilith, James said. How about just 2 pieces of broccoli today? If you eat them, I'll give you chocolate macarons with apple jam for dessert. Ha! Lilith exclaimed. Trying to bribe me with chocolate macarons and apple jam, huh? Do you think I'm the kind of child who'd fall for something like that? But she gave in. Fine. Just 2 pieces. James thinks. Good. It turns out she is that kind of child. She thinks, what's 2 pieces of broccoli anyway? Who's Daddy's sweet little angel? James said, giving her a sweet kiss. The little girl is Lilith Brown. She's 7 years old this year. As a child with a somewhat special secret. Gradually recalling memories of her past life while growing up. She is now enjoying peaceful and happy days with her dad, James, a super skilled homemaker and parenting master. Lilith Brown, 7 years old, and remembering everything perfectly, including the fact that she's living inside a fantasy novel she read in her past life. The Rebellion of Dos. In her past life, she was a graduate student, remembering the life of a workaholic, hunched over a laptop, and dying at 25 from overwork. The title of her thesis was this: a study on social characteristics of social reform suggested in fiction focused on the fantasy novel Rebellion of Dose. But then, the world of the novel, and her new life, started. Lilith was just an ordinary baby, until the memories of her past life came rushing back. Even now, remembering everything, her past life feels distant unless she forces herself to think about it. She's fully immersed in her current life, even though she still hates broccoli. And now, her dad is fixing her hair. What hairstyle should we go with today? Bunny ears? Or a princess look? Lilith doesn't seem too happy about it. Dad, should I tie it myself? Just give me ponytails, okay? Her dad chuckles. Our princess is still a baby, you can't even reach Dad's waist. It's just my body, you know? Lilith exclaims. She's smaller than the 5-year-old next door. But still, she's a smart child with the mind of an adult. Just do bunny ears, she demands, her dad says. Bunny ears? Sounds good. And she's absolutely adorable with those bunny ears, her father exclaims. Oh, you're so cute. Her dad, James, is so proud. Whose daughter is this pretty? Ugh, don't kiss me, Lilith cries. James tells her. Right, princess, today, Dad needs to go to the market, so play at the neighbor's house. I'll tell Aunt Susan. Lilith is not happy about it. Why? Can I go with you? James replies. Not for now. There are scary soldier uncles walking around these days. Lilith replies, but that has nothing to do with me. I don't have any abilities, not even the size of an ant's poop, he refused. Still not possible, it's dangerous. The scary soldier uncles are elite soldiers from the Imperial Royal Army. They're in this rural territory, hundreds of miles away from the capital, to find ability users. In the world of Rebellion of Dose, humans are divided into two groups: ability users, who can use magic, and the powerless. Ability users get noble titles and high treatment, but there's a pyramid hierarchy based on their abilities. Frequent wars break out, and ability users are often drafted into those conflicts. In this story, even the main characters are mercilessly killed off. The ordinary humans, the powerless, don't even make it as supporting characters in this novel. Lilith thinks in her mind, James is an ordinary man, with brown hair and brown eyes. Even his name is as common as James Brown. He's clearly an extra. But Lilith loves her ordinary life. But I actually like it. Being born ordinary is a huge blessing, isn't it? Her father asks. Huh? What do you mean by that? She smiles. It's a scary world, you know. I love living simply and happily with my dad, just the two of us. I'm happy. And James gets nervous for a moment. Then he smiles. That's right. As long as I have my princess, Dad is happy. And now, it's time to say goodbye. He waves his hand. Then, please take care of Lilith today as well. Princess, Dad will be back soon. James is off to the market, and Aunt Susan is here to watch Lilith. Inside they were playing cards with Acorn at stakes. Her uncle says, At first, I didn't even know he was your dad. A young man suddenly came into a village on a mountain, and lived quietly without saying a word to anyone, as if he had some story. Then her aunt tells the story. Then one night your dad came, looking pale, holding a baby. That baby was you, Lilith. The neighbor remembers how James would be with Lilith, and how she would cry. James tells them, she must be hungry, but whenever I try to give her a bottle of milk, she screams and cries. Then Aunt Susan helped them, and that's when Lilith was able to eat. Susan offered, let me see. She got the answer, oh my, so that's what happened. She laughs, ha ha ha, she must have had a tough time. Come on in now. Inside she feed her food, here, this is the baby food. I've grated some apples and mashed bananas, mixed with baby formula. Even though the baby was over 5 months old, she had only been drinking formula. Tired of it, she must have been holding back her hunger and expressing it in her own way. Then her uncle continues, after that, James became very polite. Every time my wife and I appeared from afar, he'd quickly run over to greet us. Her aunt laughs. Because he was raising a baby for the first time, he must have felt lost, so from that day on, he kept asking and learning about everything he needed help with. Lilith thinks, to think that Dad, a seasoned house husband, would be like that. Lilith and a neighbor are having fun with a card game. Ha ha, I won this time. Little one, he exclaims, flush. Ha ha ha. But then Lilith plays a full house, full house. Ha ha. Let's play again tomorrow. I always welcome a challenge. Her uncle laughs aloud. Oh, a full house. After a fun day. Thank you for today, I had a great time. She tells Susan. Auntie, you should go ahead. I'm going to do the laundry. Her aunt asks. What? Why are you doing the laundry? Just leave it. She smiles. I'll do it so Dad doesn't have to do it himself after coming back from a trip to the market. Her aunt exclaims. Oh my. Lilith, you really have a heart of gold, like an angel. Then Auntie will do it before I leave. Is that the laundry? Lilith refused. Oh no! Dad's underwear is in there too. Lilith is on her way to do the laundry. Dad doesn't like it when I secretly do the laundry. Still, I will keep doing it. I was an orphan in my past life. The only memory I have of a kind guardian is my current dad. At a young age, Dad took care of me on his own, changing my diapers, feeding me baby food, giving me baths along with everything else, every single day. The significance of Dad being there for me since I was a baby when a bond formed between us means a lot to me. I'll grow up quickly and repay him with filial piety. Washing clothes at a stream, she smiles. Oh, the life of an extra is so peaceful. I wish I could live every day like this. Although in this world, she's a powerless commoner who isn't treated as a human being. My life is a bit poor, it's still. Compared to my past life, there's nothing better than this. Reincarnation is the best. Suddenly, she heard the sound of hooves. Huh! The sound of hooves in a village like this? She turns to see horses coming towards her. They stopped in front of her. She looked at them and realized, the imperial crest, it's the imperial army. And then, a knight in a blue cloak. Are they the Dos-class knights of the empire? The knight ordered. Capture her. The knight is now staring intensely, and his command is clear. Capture her. A knight captures her. The girl is clearly in pain, as she cries out. AGH! Ah, it hurts. The knight holds a glowing object, and check her capability, he says. She's a gifted individual. It seems she really is Enoch Rubinstein's daughter. Lilith thinks. Me, a gifted individual? Something must be wrong. The little girl is then being held by the knight, as he asks. I can tell just by looking at her. He grabs her from the other knight. She's trying to get away, yelling. Please let me go. Let go, I said. But the knight is relentless. Where is Enoch Rubinstein? He demands as he holds her. The girl shouts. Who is that? The girl, Lilith, looks shocked. She wonders. Why is that name brought up now? The name comes from the novel. Rebellion of Dos. The knight is the commander of the Dos Holy Knight Order, the most powerful military force in the story. He's a Dos-ranked Holy Knight, and a sword master, as well as a duke. He is the strongest character in the story. In his youth, he lost his young daughter, and on a certain day, he sharpened his blade for vengeance. At that time, he took in and raised another male lead, Cheshire, as his adopted son. He's one of the two main protagonists. Lilith thinks in her mind, seeing how he's searching for Enoch Rubinstein and his daughter, and it seems the story is set before the original events began. His daughter must still be alive, right? But what does that have to do with me? It doesn't matter, she protests. Over there! Hey! Wait! You're terribly misunderstanding something, she pleads. But the knight doesn't care, and is still holding her. What? He asks. But first, my head is spinning. Blood is rushing to my head, she says. Lilith then asks, could you sit me up properly? Looking at him, she is trying to remember something. Black hair and blue eyes, I think there was a character who looked like this. But who was it again? She says. Are you talking about Enoch Rubinstein, the Duke who's also a holy knight and sword master? With silver hair and blue eyes, he replies. Yes, I might look similar to him because of my silver hair and blue eyes, but, she says, my dad's name is James Brown, not Enoch whatever. I was told that my hair and eye color is just like my mom's, who left home a long time ago. He thinks for a moment, then remarks, You're quite educated. She asks, Huh? And then someone shouts, Lilith! She turns and screams, Daddy! James is there holding a sword, he asks. What are you doing right now? He tells him. If you don't want to die, put my daughter down. Lilith panics. Dad, are you crazy? Do you not know who these people are? Just speaking disrespectfully to a high-ranking noble is grounds for immediate execution, and you're threatening to kill him on top of all that? She thinks, "Goodness, Dad, you're out of your mind." She trembles. "Excuse me, my dad, he can't live without me. I think he's just temporarily lost his mind," she says. "If you could be so lenient, I'll be eternally grateful," she pleads. She continues, "No matter how you look at him, he's just a random citizen of the Empire. He's a 27-year-old single father, living in a mountain village, struggling to make ends meet while collecting firewood with his young daughter." The knight pays her no mind. She waves her hands. "Excuse me? Over here?" The knight throws her towards another knight. "Ugh!" she yells. The knight steps forwards towards her father. She yells, "Ah, no! Please don't do anything to my dad!" The knight is now looking up at her father. The knight then says, "It looks like that's not true." Her father raises his sword and asks, "Why did you come?" He then says, "Let go of my daughter." The knight begins, "Enoch Rubinstein, the Emperor commands you to immediately return to the order and fulfill your duty." Lilith gets shocked. She says, "Ah, no! I told you, my dad's name isn't Enoch whatever." Then the knight says, "It's been 7 years, isn't it time for you to end this?" James is thinking. The knight continues, "As you know better than anyone, that according to the Pavilion military law, deserters are subject to immediate execution. Until their whereabouts are confirmed, they are considered a fugitive, and treated as a Class 1 criminal." Lilith frowns. "Wait, excuse me, why is he speaking in a way I don't understand? However, the gracious Emperor has held you in high regard for your past devotion and abilities. Despite clearly violating military law, no arrest warrant was issued for you. Your title and wealth has not been confiscated either." Lilith frowns. "Wait, excuse me, why is he speaking in a way I don't understand?" The knight adds, "Until now, all your illegal actions have been overlooked, and we've been waiting for you. Now it's time for you to return. Disobeying the Emperor's command will only result in death." The Emperor's words are relayed. "Enoch Rubinstein, as of today, return to the order and fulfill your duty." Her father remains silent for a moment, then laughs. "Heh! The Emperor's words are as flashy as ever, in the past and present." Lilith panics. What? Whose words? The Emperor's? Mocking the nobles and insulting the royal family. He really has crossed the line." James began. "Isn't it about time the Emperor gets a little more honest with his words? He has simply kept the kennel empty for his dog to return, hasn't he?" Lilith thinks, "I need to stop Dad and run away before this gets any worse." "Ugh!" She bites at the knight's hand. She is thrown, and her father yells, "Lilith!" and then she runs toward her. "Daddy!" she screams, but the other knight grabs her and lifts her up. Her father shouts, "Damn it! Let go of her!" Lilith says, "Ugh, wait! Dad, please stay quiet." She then pleads to the knight, "Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Please spare my dad's life. It's all because of the color of my hair. I completely understand why you're mistaken. I'll go, okay? I'll cooperate with the investigation. Then you'll see that it's not true." Internally she fumes. "Enoch Rubinstein, why does that bastard have to look like me, of all people?" she cries. "And I actually know Enoch, whatever his name is, very well. I'll check everything for you. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere right now. I'll even help you find him. So please, just spare my dad this one time. I'll go. I'll go with you. Please, I'm begging you." Just then the knight felt something and quickly draws his sword. Lilith turns to see her dad engulfed in white aura. She wonders, what is that? She gets shocked, huh? His sword turns white with the aura. His hair turns white and eyes blue. She wonders, the 27-year-old single father living in a mountain village, raising his young daughter alone. "Mr. James? Is that right?" Meanwhile, the other soldiers are holding Lilith back. He orders, "Make sure the child doesn't get hurt. Step back and wait." The other knight complies. Yes. They're taking her away from the action. Lilith realizes, he's the person he was asking about earlier. This man was just diligently carrying out his duties. The man holding her, she apologizes. "I'm sorry. I only found out about this too. But the fight has already begun. Her father is wielding a sword, and he's not messing around. A powerful attack is unleashed. The man in armor is getting knocked back. Ugh, he's clearly been hit hard." Her father taunts, "Disobeying orders results in death?" He must have found that funny. The man in armor is clearly in trouble, and he's not happy about it. Damn, he's struggling. Her father unleashes more attacks with aura. He looks at the opposing knight and calmly asks, "How do you plan to subdue me?" He's clearly confident in his abilities. And then, another blow. The man in armor is down. Ugh, he really can't keep up. Her father is furious. How dare you touch my daughter? He's beyond angry. The other knight puts sword to Lilith's neck and yells, "Stop right there! Enoch Rubinstein!" He's yelling for him to stop. Her father yells, "Lilith," the knight suggests, "surrender peacefully and follow us. If you do, we will guarantee your daughter's safety." They're trying to reason with him. "Ha! Threatening me with my child," Enoch responds unamused. "The so-called Holy Knight Order is laughable." The knight facing him replies, "We are merely carrying out the Emperor's orders. His Majesty the Emperor has commanded, Enoch Rubinstein. You are to be brought back by any means necessary." "I've renounced that name. I no longer intend to live in obedience to the imperial family. Tell your master that." Enoch's not backing down. The man in front of him replies, "This is not a choice I'm giving you." He puts sword to his neck and says, "It's an order." Enoch readies his aura. The other knight holding Lilith shouts, "Enoch Rubinstein! If you want to ensure your daughter's safety, stop now!" They're trying to use his weakness against him. Lilith, watching the scene, is begging, "Okay, hold on. Just a second." She panics inside. To summarize the situation, my dad, whom I thought was just an extra, is actually the hidden protagonist, Enoch Rubinstein. So, I am part of his story. In other words, in his youth, he lost his young daughter due to the imperial family and sharpened his blade for vengeance. And now, he's in charge of taking care of this young daughter. Lilith is thinking, is this for real? I want my sweet extra life back. Once all of this became clear, knowing the original story, I only have one choice. She fakes. Lilith is beaming, absolutely thrilled. "Of course. If it's the Emperor's command, we must follow it," she says, clapping. "Dad's going back to the Knight Order today." The knights and her father were taken aback. Moments later inside she was complaining, lying on the ground. "I look just like Mom! I look just like Mom!" She starts crying. "Why didn't you tell me? Why? Why?" She is upset that her father didn't tell her. "Sorry, Princess. I'm really sorry. Even if I had 10 mouths, I wouldn't have anything to say." But Enoch smiles at her and tells her, "But daughter," he lifts her up, "who did you take after to be this clever? Huh! Quick thinking in that situation? Thanks to my princess, we bought some time. Hee, those fools. They actually believed I was going to return and release their hostage." Enoch is getting ready to leave. "As long as our princess is safe, I have nothing to fear. Now let's quickly pack up and run." She thinks, wait, is this really happening? No matter how I look at it, he looks just like the village idiot. Well, I guess he looks scary only because they were threatening to harm me. She then says, "Dad, we need to talk." He asks, "Yeah, what is it?" She says, "Let's not run away. Let's go back to the Empire and return to the Knight Order." Huh! He is surprised by her request. She announces, "I want to live proudly. I want to go to the capital with you, Dad. I'll enroll in the Ability Training Academy and get my badge as an ability user, too. I'm an ability user, after all." Enoch is surprised by his daughter's words. "What are you talking about? How do you even know about the academy and all that?" He's totally caught off guard. She replies, Uncle Joe told me." Her father panics. "What? How does he know, and why would he tell you something like that?" He is really confused. What was he thinking telling a kid that? Her father flinches, then says, "Lilith, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. The truth is, I've always known this day would come, that scary men like the ones outside could come for us." Lilith was just at him. He continues, "Even though I knew, I still ran away. Because I didn't want you to grow up as an ability user. Living as an ability user, or as nobility, might look appealing, but what you see isn't the whole truth. In the Pavilion Empire, ability users are treated like royalty. Depending on their rank and expertise, they receive noble titles, own vast lands and countless gold coins, and command the loyalty and obedience of all. But these privileges come with obligations. They must become the Emperor's sword, shield, and staff, serving their entire lives as members of the Imperial Elite Corps. In an empire where each day is a conquest for hunting magical beasts, the Elite Corps, constantly dispatched to the battlefield, are no more than glorified war slaves. Ability users are both nobles and soldiers, warriors and mages, spending nearly their entire lives on the battlefield. And the battlefield is a truly horrifying place. Enoch is kneeling down to Lilith. He looks very serious. A friend I greeted the day before died and was brought back to me that same day. As I bury that friend, I wonder who will die tomorrow? And how long will I survive? He tells her. Lilith, I'm scared. He's clearly worried about his daughter. I don't want you to live a life like mine. Lilith, the day I first saw you, 7 years ago, when you were born. That day, you became my entire world. I can't bear the thought of losing you. Enoch, holding Lilith close, is filled with emotion. Lilith, hugging her dad, says, Dad, she thinks in her mind. I understand you better than anyone, and I want to do as you wish. But if you don't return, this country will fall. That's right, you, Enoch Rubinstein, cannot stay here. In the original story, you returned to the Night Order to avenge your daughter, take in the male lead, Cheshire, meticulously plan a rebellion from within the Night Order, and spark a revolution in this country. Because about 10 years from now, all ordinary people will die. The imperial family enacts a mass extermination policy. For non-ability users, a literal genocide of ordinary people who lack magical abilities. The only one who can stop that is you, Dad. If we run away together now, you won't take in Cheshire, the male lead, or rebel against the imperial family, and then everything will fall apart. Innocent extras like me will all die, won't they? Yeah, I can't just live as a fugitive and watch the country collapse. She asks, Dad, do you want me to live my whole life running away? He replies, not really, but you said you wanted to live a simple life with me, just the two of us. She says, well, I've had a bit of a change of heart. He asks, what do you mean? She excitedly adds, ability users are nobles, right? And as your daughter, I'd be the most powerful noble of all. Isn't that right? I could eat macarons every day, and wear dresses with ribbons too, right? She thinks, at this point, I might as well use my memories from my past life to speed things up, find Cheshire sooner, and help ensure your revolution succeeds. She tells him, I want to be a noble. I want to be a real princess. She convinces her father. When we go back, Dad won't have to struggle to chop wood and sell it in the market anymore, and I won't have to wait for Dad to come back all the time. Also, I won't have to do laundry, he says. I told you not to do the laundry, but you keep doing it anyway. And Lilith, realizing she's in the wrong, thinks, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't want to act this way. She yells, why didn't you tell me? Why? Lilith! Her dad, James, looks at her and asks, why don't you want to live as an ability user, a noble? She replies, you didn't even ask for my opinion. She cries, oh, princess. Her father looks on, concerned. His little girl is glaring at him. She asks, why don't you want me to live as an ability user? What if I wanted to live as an ability user, a noble? You didn't even ask for my opinion, she retorts, her eyes brimming with tears. Her father looks genuinely hurt as he says, oh, princess, she shouts, I don't want Dad to be the only one who calls me that. I really want to be a princess. But then, the unthinkable. I'm not Dad's daughter. James's face is a mask of shock and horror. What did you just say? She declares. I'm not James's daughter. I'll be Duke Enoch's daughter. If Dad doesn't go, I'll ask those uncles to take me, she declares, pointing with absolute certainty. James is speechless, his eyes wide with a mix of disbelief and hurt. But then, a glimmer of resolve. He kneels down. All right, he says. Later, while leaving, Lilith looks back at the cottage. My beloved cottage, filled with memories of my childhood. I never thought I would leave like this. Now, my life as a regular countryside extra is over. She wonders, what will await me from now on? The ride is abruptly interrupted. Lilith, are you all right? Her father asks, holding her close. She replies, yeah? Then she looks at the distance and saw something approaching, so she asks, Dad? What's that? The knight tells, they're werewolves. Enoch grumbles, are you kidding me? Lilith is shocked at the sudden turn of events. Werewolves? The little girl stammers, fear etched on her face. A pack of huge, snarling werewolves emerges from the forest, their eyes burning with savage intent. The knight steps forward saying, I knew its habitat was nearby, but I didn't expect it to come down to the village. Wait here. I'll take care of it and be right back. Enoch groans, damn it. Then he turns to Lilith. Princess, stay still and don't move. You must not come out under any circumstances. Don't even stick your head outside. She asks, wait, Dad, where are you going? Enoch gets out and stops the knight. You shield the carriage. If I find the slightest, even a scratch on my daughter, you're dead, he asks. You're going yourself? That's unnecessary, Enoch says as he prepares to fight. How long do you expect me to wait while you take care of one werewolf at a time? He steps up with the sword. The werewolves lunge, claws and fangs bared. Dada! The girl screams. You uncle! Why are you just watching? Help him! The knight replies. He'll handle it himself. What? She says. A sword glows with blue energy. The fight is on. Werewolves are slashed and fall. Blood splatters everywhere. What in the world? The little girl gasps. The power of the strongest person in the world. The gap between reading it and seeing it in person is tremendous. A noble family that only produced top-tier ability users, the foundation of aristocracy. The Empire's only sword master, the silver wolf of the battlefield, the undefeated soldier. Enoch turns back and says, I told you to shield the carriage, why are you just standing there? She thinks in her mind. The abnormal existence that's been described about 5,000 times, the protagonist's true strength, I see. So that's why he's the protagonist. As Enoch returns, the knight says this would have been dealt with in seconds. What a waste of mana. Enoch replies, you're unbelievable. Lilith is wondering, isn't this rise in status a bit too steep? I, in the blink of an eye, became the daughter of the strongest man in the world. They went to South Elfasha Temple. They went there to use the temple's warp gate, which is only found in big cities, to move to the capital. Since commoners can't enter the capital in their regular clothes, Lilith had to change into something else. She exclaims, wow, it's so soft, an overnight rise in status. While in the temple, a knight asks her, little one, you're 7, right? You're so small though, Lilith replies. Yes, I'm 7, his companion asks. Does Duke Enoch starve you? She answers. No, the first one asks. Then, have you been scolded? Isn't your dad scary? The other interjects. What happens when your dad gets mad? Have you ever been hit? She asks. When my dad scolded me. She pauses, then adds. When I hid my broccoli under the chicken, or when he caught me secretly eating chocolate after I brushed my teeth. The knight remarks. Wow, you're still young, it's understandable. He's raising you quite strictly. The other adds. Of course, he's Enoch Rubinstein. Do you think he'd spoil his own child? Lilith replies, he doesn't do that. The first knight asks, is that all? His companion asks, you've never been hit? She replies, no. I've never been hit, and I've never been scolded. Then she asks innocently, by the way, uncles, is my dad really that scary? The knight answers, you see, Duke Enoch, he rips bears apart with his bare hands. The two men look terrified. Upon hearing that, she shrieks, eek, he rips bears apart. The knight adds, he's cold, but how cold can he be? He was a superior that was hard to get close to. Then glances at the commander, he asks, weren't you kind of close to the commander? The girl looks at the knight standing in front of teleportation portal. I remember that person, she says, looking at the man. No wonder he looked familiar. She has a revelation. Axion Libra. Rank Moss Dox. The reason he joined the Knight Order. 7 years ago, he took the commander's position after my dad disappeared. He'll be my dad's closest ally and Revolution's comrade in the future. As expected, he was a major character in the original story. So that person was Axion. Right, with such a handsome face, there's no way he's just an extra. The two knights are discussing what happened, and it seems like Duke Enoch tried to kill the commander earlier. Yeah, if things had gone wrong, it definitely would have been a murder. Suddenly the door opens. Lilith turns and saw. Dad's here. Lilith is so happy. She runs towards her father. The man arrives, looking so regal, and Lilith shouts, ah! Looking at him, she thinks, even if I hadn't read the novel, I'd know he's the protagonist. He says her name. Lilith. She looks so sweet. He picks her up, and says, an angel? He exclaims. No way, this can't be happening. You're an angel. That's my princess's true identity. And he is completely smitten. Lilith's cheeks turns red. He's doing it again. The two knights look on in shock, and Lilith is so happy to be held. Enoch snuggles her and says lovingly, my daughter looks like this, while I'm always wearing rags, she says. I'm sorry, Dad. I was wrong. No, they're not exactly rags. The black-haired knight thinks. He's a bit much. They are about to leave, he turns and says, let's not waste time, let's leave immediately. Enoch says to her daughter, my little one, just kiss, mm. They went through the portal and the next moment they were in capital. They are at a massive court. The clergy welcomes them. Duke Enoch, you really have returned, Enoch replies. It's been a while, Your Excellency. The priest blesses Lilith. May the blessings of Primera be with you, the priest attendant asks. Duke Enoch, are you planning to return home immediately? Shouldn't we at least hold a brief homecoming ceremony? We prepared after receiving notice that you might return. Enoch replies, the imperial family will be holding a homecoming ceremony, right? We'll see you then. Today's journey has been long, and I'm worried my daughter might be tired. He holds her close. They're walking, and she's so excited. Wow, there are so many people, Lilith thinks. Just then Axion says, don't stray off, go straight home. Enoch shrugs it off. We've come all the way to the capital, don't wander off on your own. Hurry up, let's go. Then he says to Lilith, Princess, are you sure you don't want to ride in the carriage? It's a 15-minute walk to the house, should I carry you? She replies, if you keep carrying me, I'll forget how to walk. I'll walk. I want to see the capital too, Enoch says. But if your legs hurt, tell me right away, okay? She replies, got it. Then her thoughts drifted. Alright, it's starting now. Let's stay focused. The protagonist, who no longer needs to think about his daughter's revenge. Enoch Rubinstein. I made a huge mistake that completely erased any chance for the original story to begin. To fix this, we have to follow the original story from now on, no matter what. The first thing we need to do is, she came back to her senses. The people were bowing. Greetings, Sir Knight. May the high glory and grace of Primera, Enoch says. Enough, another says. Thank you always. May the high glory of Primera, Enoch again replies, that's enough. Lilith is looking at the scene, confused. I knew this would happen, but this is a bit extreme. What kind of country is this, where people grovel to greet others? If this world didn't have such blatant disregard for human rights, the protagonist wouldn't have the chance to start a revolution, and I wouldn't have anything to write my thesis about. So the first thing I have to do is find the other protagonist, Cheshire, and make sure he meets my dad. My dad can't start a revolution in this corrupt empire by himself. He absolutely needs his help. 1. Cheshire Rubinstein rank Das. 2. Sword Master of the Das Mage Knight Order. 3. Sword Master Kim Rubinstein, the son of the Magical Examiner. 4. In the story, he is one of the strongest with Enoch Rubinstein in the top tier class. 5. His punches seem slow. 6. Originally a noble bastard, he lived a life of abuse, but by chance, he caught Enoch Rubinstein's eye and was adopted as his son. She thinks hard, but there's one problem with the current setting. What exactly was that? Chance. Event? Their first meeting isn't even mentioned in the novel, so I don't know how they met, and since my dad's daughter is clearly alive, he likely has no interest in Cheshire. So I need to artificially arrange their meeting. She looks around and thinks, it's like looking for a needle in a stack of hay. They are walking and arrive at an alleyway. She looks towards it and says, Dad? Why? What's over there? He replies, no, it's nothing, it just seemed like there was some conflict. Anyway, since the security forces are patrolling, we don't need to worry. Let's go, Princess, she says. Is someone fighting over there? We should stop it, shouldn't we? He kneels down and says, that's true, but I don't want our princess to get into danger for no reason. She urges, let's not do that and just go, okay? Dad's really strong, so it should be fine, right? He smiles. I guess so. They're walking down the street and went to the alleyway. She shrieks seeing the scene. Eek. She saw 2 boys beating another boy. She thinks, weren't they just kids? Enoch asks, what are you 2 doing right now? The boy who was being beaten looks up, his eyes red and face gloomy. She yells, These damn little brats. The young boys quickly bows their head. One of them speaks. Sir? Greetings, for the glory and grace of Primera. But Enoch cuts them off. Enough. Then asks, what's going on here? Suddenly, one of the young men spoke. We apologize for being too noisy. That commoner failed to greet me, so I... Lilith shouts, her face filled with shock, and she says, you hit someone because they didn't greet you? A kid at that? Then one of the boy replies, you a priest? I'm an Octava though. And the little girl looks impressed. Wow. She points. You think you can hit people like this just because you are an ability user? Then Enoch interjects. Stop causing trouble and leave. The young man begins, for the greatest glory of Primera. Enoch again interrupts, just go. They reply, yes, sir, and ran off. Lilith thinks in her mind. A revolution is really necessary, Dad, she remarks. Life here in the capital is just wonderful. Then her father kneels down to her and says, Hey, Princess, you know what? Wait, she says. The little girl is approaching the boy who's sitting injured against a wall. She asks, Are you okay? The girl then gasps, Wall. Blood, she says. Hey, let's deal with the blood first. The little girl looks at the injured boy, and then touches his wounded arm with a handkerchief. But the boy refuses. Oh, Lilith is shocked. Sorry for touching you all of a sudden. I'll leave this here. The girl leaves the handkerchief for the boy. Then Lilith thinks, I just saw the kid get beaten up, so I feel bad for thinking this, but isn't he handsome? Just then she realizes, wait, black hair and red eyes? She remembers something. If this really is the world in the novel, one rule is absolute. There's no such thing as a handsome extra. If that's the case, then this kid must be Cheshire. What's your name? She asks the boy. Before he could answer, Enoch steps close. Kid, does it hurt a lot? Can you stand up? But the boy just started walking away. Enoch extends his hand towards him. Hold on, you. But the boy yanks his hand away. Lilith calls out from behind. Hey, wait a minute. Enoch stops her. Lilith. Yeah, Princess, the man says. There are a lot of people who don't like nobles. She says, yeah? They looks at the boy walking. He says, that kid seems uncomfortable. Let's just leave it at this for now. Enoch looks towards the boy and Lilith thinks, yes, this is definitely the novel's world. The original plot must be progressing naturally. This must be that first meeting between the two protagonists that was described as a chance. Then her father says, let's go, Princess. She replies, okay. While walking she calls, Daddy. He replies, yes, Princess, what is it? She asks, can I be friends with whoever I want? Enoch asks, what do you mean? I'm a noble, Lilith says. Does that mean I can't make friends with commoners? He thinks for a moment, then replies, not at all, Lilith. Be it a noble, commoner, ability user, or non-ability user, it doesn't matter. As long as you're happy, you can be friends with anyone. Really? Lilith says. Of course, the man replies. Then she says, that kid from earlier. I wonder where he went. I don't know, but I keep worrying and thinking about him. Enoch says. You're that curious about someone you just met? Lilith looks so happy and says, yeah, I think I want to be friends with him. Then she asks, Dad, can you help me find him later? I'm curious about whether his injuries were treated, and I also want to talk to him. After hearing that, Enoch laughs out loud. Haha. She lifts her up and says, I've given birth to an angel, he says, hugging Lilith. You'll help me find him? Lilith asks. He replies, yes, let's do that. Of course, we should. When have I ever said no to my princess? Wah! You're the best, Dad. Thank you, Lilith says happily, then concern etched on her face. If the original storyline is still in effect, Cheshire should be staying at Marquis Onyx Estate now. I know where he is. So, just wait, Cheshire. I'll find you as soon as I can. The scene shifts to Marquis Onyx Estate. Marquis yells, Jonathan, have you lost your mind? What are you going to do if you throw that boy out? His son says. I can't stand having that brat in this house. His father yells, shut up. What do you expect me to do? If we throw him out carelessly, what will happen if he's caught in the Empire's random ability user checks? He sighs. If they discover he's an ability user, they'll investigate his lineage. It's only a matter of time before they find out he's my blood. Then not only will I be a man who fathered an illegitimate child, but also one who tossed him out like garbage. Jonathan questions, You're not planning on announcing that illegitimate brat's existence to the world, are you? Marquis replies, That's why we'll lock him up and raise him in secret. Jonathan groans, Then just kill him without anyone knowing. I can't even stand breathing the same air as him. Marquis then turns and says, Don't ever try something like that. I won't interfere with anything else. After he left, Jonathan turns back in anger. He grabs Cheshire by the neck, yelling, You filthy brat! The boy is hurt. He has a shocked expression, and the man is about to punch him. He wonders, It's slowing down. Does someone like me really have powers? Because I'm the child of an ability user? He closes his eyes. I'm so tired. I just want it to end already. Then Jonathan beats him. Later, while lying on the ground, hurt and bloodied, he thinks, dying would be easier. But am I too scared to die too? Then he pulls out the handkerchief. He recalls Lilith saying, "Sorry for touching you all of a sudden. I'll leave this here." The boy thinks, that noble girl's handkerchief. Why did I even take this? The boy is lying on the ground. I just want to die. Lilith, her eyes wide with wonder, is clearly blown away as they arrive, the massive gates of the palace opening before her. It's so big! The sheer grandeur of it all seems to hit her. Lilith calls out, Dad, wait a second. Why? Her father asks. She tells, I need to mentally prepare myself first. Ahaha! Hey, there's nothing to be nervous about, Princess. Her father reassures her. She whispers, Don't you feel anxious, Dad? It's been 7 years since you've seen your family. The door opens and servants rush towards them. Servants approach, and the shock on their faces says it all. Why, young master? They exclaim. Then, a new voice. You really came back. They're greeted by a man, Rem. Enoch says, Hey, Remington. It's been a while. The gathered staff are utterly flabbergasted, and Lilith's presence is quickly noted. Rem exclaims, Oh my goodness! So, this is Little Master's. Oh, unbelievable! Lilith introduces herself. Hello? My name is Lilith. The man in charge, Remian Santos, is charmed. Nice to meet you, Miss Lilith. My name is Remian Santos. Please feel free to call me Remington. The servants can't help but gush. The maid giggles. Oh my, you look like an angel. You look just like the young master. So adorable. Gah! Then Enoch asks, How long are you going to keep us standing outside? Rem is instantly apologetic. Oh dear, where are my manners? He shows them the way. I'm so sorry, young master, Miss Lilith. In my 50 years of life, I've never had such an emotional moment. Enoch cuts through the sentiment. Stop making such a fuss. As they walk, Rem says, We did hear that the Holy Knights had received an imperial command to bring the little master back, but honestly, none of us, not even the headmaster, had much hope. Enoch concedes, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. Well, I guess my face is going to shock him quite a bit. Rem agrees. Of course, he'll be overjoyed. Lilith's eyes light up. Dad's father. He's the one who exuded an overwhelming presence every time he appeared. Nordic Rubinstein. He has the same dose rank abilities as his father and grandfather. But in the original story, he was incredibly kind to Cheshire. He pretended to be indifferent, but secretly took care of everything behind the scenes. Lilith thinks, I hope he's kind to me, too. But that's probably asking too much. Then Rem told, Oh, by the way, Lady Ordia is here as well. Enoch asks, My sister? Rem confirms it. Yes, Lady Ordia believed you would return. She's been staying with the young masters for the past 2 weeks. Lilith is surprised. I knew Dad had a sister, but she was never mentioned in the original story, so this is my first time hearing her name. She's not ready for this turn of events. Ugh, this is actually happening. Rem quickly gathers himself. I'll inform the dining staff to prepare a feast, one more splendid than ever before. This is truly inspiring. Lilith's reaction to the palace itself is priceless. Her eyes widen, and the sheer elegance of the grand hall takes her breath away. Whoa! She whispers. A palace! She's in awe, wondering. Is that real gold? It must be real gold, right? Her father asks her. What's wrong, princess? And she responds with, Oh, nothing at all. She thinks in her mind. Not only was James Brown hiding his power, but also his wealth. While walking up the stairs, she thinks, Isn't he charging ahead a bit too confidently? As they ascend the grand staircase, Lilith expresses her nervousness. I'm so nervous. Someone save me. Enoch strides into a room, Lilith in tow, and she cries out, Dad! Wait! The door opens. In a formal office setting, the tension is palpable. The room is filled with a man and a woman. Oh my goodness! The woman is shocked. Enoch, he acknowledges. I've returned, father. Lilith is scared of the man's presence. His presence is no joke. How terrifying! The grandfather glares at Enoch, who is unfazed. You! He starts, but Enoch says, You've aged quite a bit since I last saw you. That hurts. You brat! His father raised his cane, but then the sister, Lady Ordia, exclaims, Father, there's a child here. Lilith, scared and small, is shielded by her father. Is that your daughter? The grandfather asks. Enoch replies, What do you mean by that? She's my princess. You raised her all on your own for 7 years without so much as a single message to let us know if you were alive or dead. The grandfather is clearly displeased. Lilith, overwhelmed, seems to understand the gravity of the situation. Of course, he's probably thinking about how I kept him apart from his son for 7 years. If I were grandfather, I'd probably hate someone like me too. Well, I did expect him to react like this. Tears well up in Lilith's eyes, and she musters the strength to speak. Lilith, don't be discouraged, you idiot. It's only natural. I don't want to be hated, but… She apologizes. I'm sorry. Her father, noticing her distress, asks, Princess? Lilith? What does my princess have to apologize for? Enoch attempts to lighten the mood. Father, please soften your expression. You're scaring my princess. But the grandfather is not amused. Silence. Lilith shrinks back further, her eyes filled with fear. As her grandfather raises his hand towards her, she thinks, does he intend to hurt me? Will he really hit me? She braces herself, but instead, the grandfather approaches and gently touches her cheek. Ha! She wonders, what is this? She was shocked. Enoch clears his throat. Lilith thinks, his grandfather, doting on me? Lilith exclaims, Gr Grandpa. I'm Lilith. I'm 7 years old. Lilith announces, Grandpa, it's nice to meet you. He gently embraces her, and she giggles with joy. He says, Indeed. I'm your grandfather. He lifts her up. Later, while walking, her aunt says, Lilith, let me introduce you to your cousins. Lilith's already thinking, my cousins? And her aunt continues, I have 2 sons, they are twins actually. They're a bit mischievous, which worries me, but they're good boys at heart. They've always wanted a younger sibling. I'm sure they'll really like you. Lilith's just a little overwhelmed. Alright. If they're my aunt's sons, they must be the Antrace heirs. She remembers, the twin heirs of the Antrace ducal family, the nephews of Enoch Rubinstein. One of them will become a holy knight, and the other will become a magic swordsman. Suddenly, the aunt says, Well, our Theo is a bit frail, so I'm worried about him. As they stand at a grand doorway, Lilith replies, Oh, I see. And the aunt opens the door. She calls out, Hey boys! Look who's here! She thinks in her mind. In this novel, where people die all the time, both of them end up dying. The twins were among the few people that Cheshire, Dad's adopted son, truly opened his heart to. So when they, 2 people who he treated like his own brothers, died, Cheshire nearly lost his mind. Lilith is looking at them. Anyway, they really look like someone copied and pasted them. The twin says, Whoa! Do you see this? The twins turn to face Lilith, and one exclaims, What the? She's so tiny! Lilith's aunt says, They look exactly alike, don't they? It's embarrassing to admit, but when the kids really put their minds into tricking me, even I, their mother, can't tell them apart. Then the aunt says, Leon, Theo, your uncle just came back a little while ago. And this cutie here is your cousin. Her name is Lilith, Theo replies. Wow, Lilith? Nice to meet you. I'm Theo Antrace, 12 years old. Lilith looks at Theo. So this is Theo. In the original story, he was the first to die. Theo, who is destined to become a holy knight, is a bit frail. In the story, Theo had a gentle and caring personality and looked after Cheshire like a true older brother. Theo tragically dies the spring after he was knighted due to a rare congenital disease. Judging by the timeline, he likely has less than 4 years left. Lilith replies, Nice to meet you, big brother. I'm Lilith. I'm 7 years old. Theo pulls Lilith closer to him. So pretty. Then the aunt says, Leon, you should say hi to Lilith too. Leon pipes up. You're too small to be 7. Dummy. I was way taller when I was 7. The aunt chides. What? Did you just call your little sister a dummy? The aunt says, Lilith, even though your brothers look exactly alike, their personalities couldn't be more different. Theo is kind and gentle while Leon is mischievous, which worries me. Leon questions, What are you talking about? Ouch. Leon gets a smack on the head, and the aunt says, Leon, behave yourself and try speaking more politely. How many times have I told you that girls won't like you if you act like this? The aunt says, It hasn't even been a few days since you scared Lady Ballerina with that giant spider. Do you want to get scolded again? Leon retorts, Lady Merica Ballerina said she likes spiders, so I brought it for her. The aunt replies, She only said that because she wanted to be friends with you, not because she actually likes hairy spiders. What kind of a lady would like something like that? Lilith watches the family drama unfold. She observes, raising sons must be exhausting. Leon, who is destined to become a magic swordsman, is playful and has a habit of blurting things out, which often led to him bickering with Cheshire. Of course, it wasn't how he truly felt. No one cared for Cheshire more than Leon. In the original story, around Volume 2, there's a large-scale monster subjugation battle. Leon dies there. He steps in front of Cheshire and takes an attack for Cheshire when he was ambushed. That part was written so heart-wrenchingly. She was almost teary. I think I'm about to cry again. It made him seem both heroic and pitiful at the same time. Lilith holds out her hand to Leon and says, "Brother, I'm so happy to meet you. Let's get along really well. We can even catch spiders together if you want." Lilith starts to laugh, and she replies, "Hee hee. I like big spiders too." She thinks, I want to get closer to him. He doesn't reply, just stares at her. She asks, brother? Leon approaches her and touches her face. He pinches her cheek hard. And Lilith cries. Ugh, the aunt says. This can't be. Leon, Theo says. Hey Leon, how could you pinch her so hard? Lilith is crying. Wah! Lilith is thinking. It hurt, but I didn't mean to actually cry. Why did it have to happen? Right when I was already emotional while thinking about the original story. The tears keep coming. Leon stammers, I just. Theo approaches Lilith and says, Oh my! It seems like it hurts a lot. Don't cry, Lilith, Leon whispers. I just thought she was cute, the aunt says. Hurry up and apologize, won't you? Lilith says. Hey auntie, I'm okay. Leon looks over at Lilith and apologizes. Sorry. Looking at him, she thinks, Ugh, how pitiable. Lilith looks at Leon and says, No, brother, I'm fine. It doesn't hurt at all. I'm sorry for suddenly crying. Lilith smiles and says, But next time, please be a little softer, pinch lightly. Leon blushes and then says, Well, I guess. The aunt chuckles. Later the family is all together at the dining table. Looking at the extravagant food, Lilith exclaims, Wow, the table is set. She wonders, Is everything ready? The butler says, Enjoy your meal, young lady and young masters. The aunt says, Eat a lot, Lilith. Lilith says, Yes. The table is overflowing with food. Lilith thinks, There are so many dishes. I don't know which one to start with. What should I do? She looks at the side and thinks, First, I should follow Leon sitting next to me. Just then the door opens and her aunt says, Oh, father, you've come. He replies, Yes. The aunt asks, What about Enoch? He replies, He said he'll join us soon after he unpacks. Let's eat first. As the family sits at the table, Lilith thinks, So this is what noble meals are like. I'm so nervous I can't even tell if it tastes good. Just then her grandfather calls Leon. He says, Yes, Grandpa. The grandfather says, I heard you caused a ruckus. The aunt says, Father, Leon apologized to Lady Ballerina. I'm sorry too, so before we leave, I'd like to have tea with Countess Ballerina. Lilith is looking at the table and thinking, They said something about a giant spider earlier. It seems like it turned out to be a bigger incident than expected. The grandfather continues, I've heard many stories about how your mother caused trouble, but I hear you caused a stir here as well. I think I need to say something. You are also a Rubinstein. You're 12 now, so you should understand the weight of that name. Leon replies, Yes. The grandfather continues, Always carefully revise and check your actions to avoid any trouble. Stick to proper etiquette. Do not act recklessly. Maintain a demeanor that is worthy of being an example for others. Leon replies, Yes, Grandpa. The grandfather adds, I hope I won't hear anything about our family's name being tarnished from now on. Leon says, I apologize. Lilith looks at her grandfather and thinks, Grandpa is exactly like the original work. He's a perfect example of a noble through and through. He upholds decorum as if his life depends on it, and is extremely averse to anything that isn't dignified. Then she thinks, I feel like crying. The butler is placing a plate of food in front of Lilith. The timing is perfect. I've never learned noble etiquette. What should I eat the steak with? She wonders. Then, a desperate idea. What do I do? Maybe if I cheat a little, I'll have a chance. Suddenly Leon asks, Why aren't you eating? Theo chimes in. Lilith, are you already full? Lilith responds, And no, it's not that. Then her aunt asks, What's wrong, Lilith? Lilith is the center of attention, and it's making her nervous. What's with this spotlight all of a sudden? How should I respond? Would it be better to honestly admit that I don't know table manners? Her anxiety is rising. Anyway, Grandpa and Auntie both know I've never used these kinds of utensils before. But they're probably already troubled because of Dad and me. Her eyes well up with tears. If they see how clueless I am, won't they feel even worse? Both Leon and Theo looks at each other understanding. Lilith cries inside. Why isn't Dad here yet? Just then. I'm late, Enoch says, dashing in. Lilith's relief is palpable. Ah, he's here! James Brown! My savior! He says. Ah, Lilith, let's eat together with Dad. Just then her aunt is shocked. And my goodness. Leon! He puts his fork on the steak. Lilith wonders. What's going on? What happened? Her aunt says. Why are you eating so rudely? Your younger sibling is right here. Theo also grabs the utensils and starts eating. His mother says. Theo, you too? Who taught you to handle a knife so carelessly? Can't you do it properly? The woman is clearly displeased. Here, eat, Lilith, the older brother offers. Lilith's eyes light up with pure joy. Wow, these kids! They were being considerate of me. They're such good brothers. Her aunt questions. Why are they even acting like that? Do you really want to get scolded? Enoch smiles seeing the situation. She apologized to her father. Father, I'm sorry. I should have. He replies. Enough. She asks pardon? He begins eating. Let's eat. And so, Lilith happily begins to eat. She took a bite and thinks, this is bliss. Her father watches her with love in his eyes, and a single tear escapes her. Then her grandfather asks, is it delicious? She replies, yes, Grandpa. It's so delicious. He smiles. Good, eat a lot. Later her father shows her room. Lilith has a new room. Wow, she says, looking around in amazement. Her father asks, do you like it? She jumps in joy. Yes. She rolls on bed. Wow, the bed is so soft and fluffy. Her father lay down beside her and says, hey, princess. She says, yes? He says, the boy we met in the alley earlier, do you remember him? She replies, oh, yes. In her mind she thinks Cheshire. He adds, I'll find him right away. I should be able to locate him soon. Once I do, let's ask him if he needs any help. She replies thoughtfully, thank you. But there's no rush. She thinks in her mind. I was just thinking about it myself. Sorry, but for now, no matter what Dad does, it'll be hard to find Cheshire. Earlier, we crossed paths by chance, but it won't happen a second time. According to the original story, he and Dad won't meet again for another 2 years. Right now, Cheshire is being kept hidden and raised in Marquise Onyx's estate. Meanwhile, Dad, having returned after 7 years, is likely still unfamiliar with how the capital works. He's not the type to rely on illegal guilds operating underground to search for someone. I guess I'll have to help out after all. She hugs her father. Let's go to bed, Dad. Don't worry too much. Internally she thinks, your daughter will take care of everything. The next day, a bright, sunny day. Rem introduced to the maids. Miss Lilith, these are the maids assigned to take care of you. Jetty and June. The young master will be confined starting today. No, wait, he is not expected to leave his office. He asks Lilith, are you all right? She replies, yes. Then thinks, of course, he must be busy resuming his duties as the head of the household after being absent for 7 years. Naturally, I understand. Rem adds, Jetty and June are veteran maids who have passed a 50-to-1 competition to become your personal attendants. Then the maid begins. That's right. I'm Jetty, miss. I secured a position as your personal maid by winning first place in the tournaments of adjusting bathwater temperatures, drawing, and making snacks. Proudly so. Here, June and I are sisters. I'm the older one. Lilith realizes, wait, there are tournaments for this. Seriously? Then the other maid begins. I'm June. I hold the record for 47 push-ups, 55 sit-ups, and a 3-meter standing long jump, ranking first overall. You can trust me to serve you with all my heart and soul. Lilith wonders, why would skills like that be necessary for taking care of a 7-year-old? Then she bows her head. It's a pleasure to meet you, Sister Jetty and Sister June. The maids were in awe. Oh my, miss. Then June picks her up and hugs her warmly. Miss, why are you so small and adorable? Pardon? Jetty says. Look at those chubby cheeks. They're like a lump of dough. They look like they'll melt away. Then Rem says, all right. That's enough, girls. Let's wrap up the greetings. We'll now inform you of your schedule for today. The master has instructed us to start your education from today. Your teachers will arrive at 10 a.m. Lilith notices. They seem a bit apologetic about making me start studying the day after arriving in the capital. But this is exactly what I wanted, she excitedly says. Yes, Uncle Rem. I can study. I'm good at it. I'll do my best. Rem wipes his tears. Oh dear, I should take note of this. You really resemble the young master when he was your age. Today is just the first day, so it'll likely just be introductions. It shouldn't be anything too difficult. A little later during class, her teacher was instructing her. Now, look here. There are 2 apples, right? But then 2 more apples appear, poof, just like that. So now there are 4 apples. 2 times 2 equals 4. Lilith's eyes were dead as she says, Wow! To think I'm learning elementary school multiplication at this age. The teacher continues, Now, if 2 more apples appear again, so if they appear 3 times in total, what happens? Leon raises his hand. 2 times 3. 6, the teacher says. Young master, you must let the young lady answer. You already know all of this, don't you? Theo agrees. That's right, Leon. Don't interrupt Lilith while she's studying. Meanwhile, Lilith was grumbling inside. I'd rather you just interrupt me. Lilith is distressed. I could handle etiquette and liberal arts because they were necessary, but solving these elementary math problems is something else entirely. She was solving a paper, then her teacher asks, Is it too difficult for you? Lilith replies, Yes. Her teacher urges, Why don't you give it a try? It's okay if you get it wrong. Then Leon says, Hey kiddo, want me to tell you the answer? The teacher groans. Young master, you mustn't. Stop interrupting her. Theo adds, Leon, I told you not to interrupt. Lilith is overwhelmed. I don't have time to be doing this right now. I need to find Cheshire as soon as possible. Her mind drifted. Cheshire became our family's adopted son during the fall of his 13th year. Based on the age difference with Dad, Cheshire should be 11 years old now. This means he'll have to endure 2 more years of abuse at Marquise Onyx's house. That won't do. I need to help Dad find Cheshire sooner. To do that, first I need to find someone. The future head of the Intelligence Guild who will become Dad's ally years later. If I can find him ahead of time and bring him to my side, not only will rescuing Cheshire become easier, but everything else going forward will as well. To meet that person, I'll have to sneak out first. But in the body of a mere 7-year-old, the restrictions are endless. And I am stuck solving math problems in a study room. I've already memorized up to the entire 19 times table. Just then her teacher calls out, "Am my lady?" That brought her out of her thought. She replies, "Yes." She asks, "How did you do this?" Lilith gets confused. "Pardon?" Leon exclaims, "Wow, kiddo, you're really smart. You solved it without even calculating?" Just then she looks down at the paper and realizes, I wrote out the entire 19 times table? She panics inside. Wow, this is bad. She thinks to herself, how do I get out of this situation? She wonders. A 7-year-old wrote out the 19 times table. Then a thought crossed her mind. Wait, hold on. Maybe this isn't such a bad situation after all? There are always a few kids who are good at mental math, right? With renewed determination, she decides, I'll just finish the basics quickly and reduce wasted time, so I can help Dad sooner. She raised her hands in joy. Teacher, did I get them all right? She asks, full of anticipation. Yes? Yes. The teacher looks a bit flustered. How did you do it? The little princess beams. You explained it so well, it was easy. But the teacher is clearly baffled. No, what did I even teach you? She wonders. Lilith declares proudly. If 2 apples appear 3 times, it becomes 6. Thank you for teaching me, teacher, she says with a smile. But then the teacher's face falls. But I didn't tell you that if 19 apples appear 9 times, it would become 101. The teacher is flustered. Lilith thinks, just let it slide, okay? She pleads, giggling with excitement. You said division comes after multiplication, right? She asks her teacher. This is so much fun. Please tell me more. Her eyes sparkling with curiosity. The teacher is completely speechless. Then she exclaims, I believe the princess is a once-in-100-years genius. You're a rare talent without a doubt. Theo asks. What, Lilith? Leon asks. What do you mean by a rare talent? The teacher is there, and she looks at her. Princess, from now on, I will do my utmost to support your education. she says, as Lilith looks up at her, smiling. But, at that moment, she didn't know that this action would lead to a huge disaster later on. Later, it's a beautiful day, with fluffy clouds and a bright blue sky. Lilith is enjoying her dessert. Ha! She sighs happily. She is in heaven. She is eating a big strawberry cake. Is it that delicious, Lilith? Her brother asks. She replies, it's the best. Her brother offers her another piece. Theo says, say I try this too, Lilith. She took the bite. Leon also offers her cake. Little one, try this too. Seeing her eat, Theo smiles. Haha, so cute. Mom, Lilith really looks like a squirrel. Her aunt chuckles, she looks so pretty when she eats so well. Lilith is still eating, and her aunt says, be careful, you might get a stomach ache, so eat slowly. She replies, exited. Yes. And thinks, being able to eat these expensive macarons like this is heaven. And as the family is enjoying a nice day, someone new arrives. Her aunt looks towards the carriage. Oh my, is she the Countess ballerina? Theo looks at them and says, ha, Erica is here too. Leon stammers, what? Miss Erica. He hides beside Lilith, so she asks, what's up, older brother? Are you hiding? Nothing is covered at all. Leon seems annoyed. Oh, seriously, it's so annoying, he says under his breath. She asks, what's wrong? Theo replies, Leon doesn't really like Erica. Then Leon tells her, a few days ago, when she came to visit, I tried to scare her off with a giant spider, and Erica got hurt, so Mom scolded me. Lilith says, AHA. She thinks so. Erica was the victim of that giant spider incident. Then Erica calls out, Leon! But he was holding her little sister close. Seeing that, Erica turns serious. What's going on, Leon? Who is this girl? Erica demands, her face furious. Lilith panics. Suddenly, the mood became like love war? Erica questions, who is this girl? Leon replies, why do you care? Lilith gets nervous. No. Why would you say something that makes it sound like that? It's not like this is some middle-aged affair romance scenario. Then her aunt asks Erica, Erica, how's your forehead? Is it much better now? Erica replies, yes, madam, it's much better now. But who is this girl? She tells her, she's Leon's cousin. Erica exclaims, what? Then says, right. The Duke of Rubenstein might be coming, right? Has he really returned? Lilith's aunt replies, yes, just yesterday. Erica felt relief. I see. You should have told me. Then she turns to Lilith and excitedly says, nice to meet you. You're the Duke's daughter. You really look like an angel. Erica adds, you startled me. I almost got jealous there. I'm Erica Ballerina. I'm 12 years old. Lilith replies, I'm Lilith Rubenstein. I'm 7 years old. You're beautiful too, like a princess. Erica exclaims, oh my, really? Thank you, Lilith. And one more thing, I've already promised to spend my life with Leon here. Erica says, smiling. Her brother shouts, aren't you crazy? Who decided that? Erica adds, paying him no mind. We'll be family later, so you can call me older sister in advance. Let's speak casually and get along, okay? Leon is upset. Ugh, seriously, I really don't like this. Lilith thinks to herself. To think she's interested in Leon, not Theo, as a romantic target. Erica likes bad boys, huh? Later at night, her father opens the door calling, my princess! He holds her close. She says, Dad, seriously, the door's about to fall off. The little princess giggles as her dad hugs her. Then she asks, Dad, have you had dinner? He replies, dinner? What time is it? I had dinner a while ago. She smiles. Good job. You shouldn't skip meals. I also went out and ate something delicious with Aunt and my older siblings. We went to the tailor to get my measurements and ordered clothes. Aunt bought me 10 sets, you know? Her father laughs. Haha, did you like it? She replies, totally, she even bought me a princess dress. She giggles. Then her father says, wait a minute, he asks. You studied all day today, right? She replies, not all day, only until 3 o'clock. Her dad looks at her and says, sorry, my princess. I only planned on having you be taught manners, but Grandpa made me do all sorts of extra things. Lilith asks, what are you talking about? Of course, one needs to learn everything. Studying is fun. Her father asks, is it actually fun? She replies, yeah, if you hadn't made me study, I would have ended up with the intelligence of a chimpanzee. He says, no, my princess. You can still play. You can take your time studying. she replies. Ugh, I'm getting tired of playing now. Studying is more fun. It's not hard at all. He asks, really? She smiles, yeah, really. If it gets hard and boring, I'll let you know. But it's really easy and fun. Her father also smiles. I see. Actually, the math teacher said that you're a genius. But even I can tell that too. Lilith laughs. Ah, really? She thinks in her mind, it's a bit embarrassing to be praised for solving elementary school problems, but if Dad likes it. Her whispers snuggling her. Who does my child take after? Who did you inherit such smarts from, She smiles. I took after Dad. Ha ha. Both laughs. Then she asks, Dad was busy today, right? You've worked hard. He chuckles. Hee hee, it's okay, our genius daughter is studying hard, so Dad can't just play around. She thinks, smiling. I don't feel bad about Dad being proud of me. Being a genius feels nice, she says as she drifts off to sleep. Hee hee, genius. But soon she had to take it back. Actually, I'm not a genius, she says.